to your late night look at weather. We are looking at the flames north of the 58, and they are still happening with the fish fire right now. Let's take a look at the numbers, and the temperature is thankfully down into the 70s for the fish fire region of Beelzeville. The wind is light, hardly there at all, and now coming out of the east-northeast. Earlier it was westerly. Humidity still low, but slowly climbing up to 31%, and the winds are located primarily on the other side of the hill, 33 for Tehachapi Pass and Jawbone as well. So it is an improvement along the weather front for the fire. It is a cool down currently, but still warm even for Tehachapi at 72. But how about hot in Vegas at 98? And it's a warm one in the San Fernando Valley at 75. But the coolest spot on the map goes back to the Central Coast at 58 degrees in San Luis Obispo. Santa Maria at 57, Monterey just shy of 60 by 1 degree. Well, we will stay shy, if not at average, for one more day. In the South Valley, deserts are going to still be rather hot. However, the next heat up is quickly on its way for midweek and beyond. This one, my friends, could be the biggest one of the year so far. Summertime sizzle from west to east, north to south, and up in the mountains too. Very hot by next weekend. That is your latest headline as far as that goes. But to our south, we are seeing what used to be a hurricane, now a tropical storm, Fausto, moving west-northwest towards Hawaii. Winds at 70. Now, the good news is this is not going to make a direct hit, but the waves will crash into the shores. Surfers, get ready for this one, although you need to know that it could be dangerous for inexperienced swimmers and surfers alike. That's one part of your tropical story. The other part goes to what we call Hurricane Genevieve. Look at that one go south-southwest of Baja, and it looks like this thing is strong, is structurally sound, and the eye is definitely there. Look at that. This thing is northwesterly trajectory, and what it's doing is increasing the convective activity, or the thunderstorms. That is kind of like how these things form and maintain. Look at the lack of lightning around this particular storm, which is Fausto, but look at the contrast with Genevieve. All those little flashes, that is satellite imagery picking up the lightning action. And notice where it's found, on the periphery of the storm and right along the center, not in the eye. The eye is an area of clear weather, but on the outskirts of it, the eye wall is where these huge thunderclouds develop and lightning flashes. That is a sign of a strong system, my friends, and Genevieve sure is not weak tonight. Let's take a look at that surf forecast. The waves are going to be big right around the storm, but they will crash into the Baja, into Mexico, and eventually some of that energy will ride north into California by Wednesday and Thursday. And that is going to be a big deal because the swell will increase, the waves will peak, and the chance of some minor coastal flooding will be found around the beaches of SoCal. By the way, the waters are really warm, so it's going to be tempting to go into them, but it could be very dangerous, a high rip current potential. So please do not try this one out. If you can avoid it, rather watch it from a distance because of the conditions we just mentioned. 95 for tomorrow's high in Santa Clarita. How about 111 in Palm Springs? Same for Havasu, Vegas, shy of that by 1 degree at 110. Will we make it to 100 in the South Valley? We might be just shy of that by a little from Fresno down to Bakersfield. Up to Sacramento, it could be just a tad cooler, but San Francisco is where the chill will be found in the air in the mid-60s. Not surprising for July in the Bay Area of the state. Let's take a look at what else is happening as far as the temperatures go. One more day around or below average, and then boom, 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 staying up and above the average mark. Into the red we go for hot weather, and the sizzle is on from the valley to the mountains and all places in between. Look at this. We could be dealing with 105 to 106 to 107 by the weekend in Bakersfield. Yep, giving it true to its name, Bakersfield this weekend and then some. The mountains should be back into the 90s by Tehachapi, and that will call it HOT on that 10-day forecast for you. Notice the sunshine, the monsoon is still a non-factor, at least for now. The KRV, back to the hundreds you go. You've had a break from that recently, and it looks like it'll be a hot one with the nights warming up too, but the winter goes to the deserts of Kern County, where we will introduce the chance of 100 in teens. As a matter of fact, this is not a joke. Saturday and Sunday, we could end up with a high temperature of 116. So play it safe and be weather aware out there.